we speak to Michael, who started out as a man in a van. He's now built his business to £2.5 million worth of revenue. He's got a team of 30 in the waste transfer business. It's a fascinating conversation of how this man built a big multi-million pound business in just 5 years. Want to find out more? Strap yourselves in. This episode is sponsored by Revolut Business. And if you're wrapping up the year and you want a clearer handle on where your business stands, this is a tool worth knowing about. There's also a £200 welcome bonus. I'll explain more about that in just a moment. Hello gang, welcome back to the Business Broadcast. This is the podcast designed to help grow your business. We're speaking to Michael Miller today. Do you want to tell us about the business, JB?
This is a man in a van on steroids.
Yeah, £2.5 million a year of revenue.
Yeah, you were quite surprised by that.
I thought it was one man and one van.
Yeah, that's what he did say to you in the pre-chat chat, didn't he? He said, oh, man in a van. It's like, it's a bit more than that though, isn't it? Yeah, he's got 30 man and van situations. He's doing 200 grand a month at the moment. He's been trading for 5 years. But, as always, there's some challenges. Biggest challenge number one, underdeveloped B2B growth channels. Sounds technical, doesn't it? Biggest challenge number two, rising operational and administrative costs. Biggest challenge number three, margin pressure and profitability decline. To the point where he'd actually submitted his details to be on the pod a little while ago, and he was at 210 a month, and now he's gone to 200 a month. So there's 10k of this drop down there, and obviously costs have gone through the roof. And based on what Rachel from Accounts did last week, the costs are going to be. Oh no, I've mentioned Rachel from Accounts. See his face there, guys.
Well, we'll come on to that in a minute. But
we will.
This business here, it's B2B and B2C.
It is, I believe, yes.
He's only been going a shake over 5 years.
He has.
And I think to do £2.5 million in half a decade is very impressive. He told us he's based in the southeast, but he's a nationwide operator by partnering with chums that offer a good level of service to him.
So they can do south of the country, they handle themselves, and then they've got partners for further up north. I'll tell you what, if you want to look at a website that does SEO well, bloody hell, you can see why he gets all of the traffic that he does to his website.
Do you know what you always say, a great business is love, want and need?
Yes.
I think waste is love, want and need. And what's happening...
Love as well?
I absolutely do believe it is a love, want and need business, because if you see what's happening in Birmingham, you know, where everyone's driving and you've got smelly bins and smelly rubbish outside your house, all of a sudden you fall in love with the idea of that going away.
That is true.
It is recession-proof. What isn't recession-proof might be people having to clear out and filling a skip up. But, you know, people have got rubbish. They've always got rubbish, haven't they?
When you are operating the scale that you are now, is that not one of your vertical integration pieces to buy in the waste management yourself?
A lot of people say
I just don't like it, JB. I like a fluffy teddy and I like a lovely balloon dog. That's what I like.
I mean, if the gods of M&A... mergers and acquisitions landed.
That's
something.
You, isn't it? Aren't you the god of M&A?
No, but if the angels of M&A landed in my lap a really brilliantly well managed business, you know, I may, but it's not top of my priority. Although I spend a lot of money on it.
I was about to say,
I'm without checking the numbers, it'll be well over £1 million a year.
So it's got to be worth you having a look at, surely.
But we're all over the show, aren't we? And it doesn't really get my juices going, so that's why.
So do you still in this? Even at the scale you're at now, it still has to fundamentally excite you, not just, it's got to work.
Well, let's do the 8 traits of the greats.
Okay.
Number four is be passionate about your cause. I don't think I can be passionate about waste. And I think when it's...
Number four is master relationships with people. You don't even know your own traits.
Which one? Number 2, is it?
Passionate about your cause. That's number 2.
Yeah, I think, you know, like your podcast business, you're very passionate about this industry.
I love a podcast, mate, yeah.
You know, if you know,
should we do the 8 traits of the great? On you. Let's do the 8 traits of the greats. Do you start with the end in mind? I
very much try to, and I'm doing that more than ever.
Are you passionate about your cause?
Yep.
Do you have untold amounts of resilience?
Absolutely. I was about to just drop an F-bomb there.
Wow, blimey. Do you master relationships with people? I'll be the judge of that. No. Commercial awareness? I think you can have that one. How much weight do you spend on waste? You didn't know your numbers very well on that one, did you?
I do. We spend a lot of money on there, yeah.
Do you innovate so you don't evaporate?
Constantly innovative, I mean.
Are you a master
marketer?
Are you a master marketeer?
I'm constantly marketing. I spend more time in the marketing department. I think I'm very good at marketing, actually.
And you stay teachable and
Do you know
curious.
what? Do you know what?
He's got himself an
I
8.
don't think I do enough marketing for my business, and I am
Really?
putting that out there for anyone that listens to this podcast. Even though I feel I get it, I do loads of podcasts, I do loads of YouTube, I do loads of direct response, I write emails. I don't think you can ever do enough marketing.
But is that for...
Because what I'm doing is I'm just saying that for our viewers and our listeners, JB.
Yeah.
That if you're not satisfied with where you're at, spend more time on marketing, and even if you're doing very well,
true.
you should always be marketing.
Yeah. Do you think that you don't do enough marketing, or the organisation isn't doing enough marketing?
No,
because you can't do much more, can you?
No,
really?
the driver of it. I was listening to David Cameron on a podcast. The rest is politics leading. And I think you should always try and find ex-presidents, ex-prime ministers and listen to their little monologues once they've left office. Because by any stretch of the mind, that is a very difficult job.
Yeah.
Most people hate you.
Yeah.
They hate you till the day you die.
Yeah.
You can't ever do it right. And you can just pick up little nuances of a very under pressure person. Very under pressure person. And he said, like when I was Prime Minister, I would have to make sure I have regular meetings to stamp my fist on the table to get whatever my agenda that I wanted to get through. Because the system, a group of people starts fraying. So you can say, right, we're going to decorate the house. You got that vision that you're going to decorate the house, and then you go on this big load of energy to start decorating. Then it gets difficult, and then life gets in the way, and the kids are crying, and life gets in the way, and then that decorating doesn't
Just do the kitchen to keep everyone sweet.
Yeah. And I think I know running a country is in a steroids different style of conversation. But he said, if I wanted to get stuff done as Prime Minister, I'd make sure there was weekly meetings. I'd bang my bat on the table and say, where are we at with this? What is getting done? So how does that come back full circle on the marketing thing? I've got an amazing team in our marketing team that are very good at producing the assets, the digital, the look and feel, but the isms that entrepreneurs have and leadership type people have to say, I think we should try this. I think we should move outside of regularity here, go outside of the box. That is the bit that I should be doing more of.
Fair enough. It's good self-critique. Good on you for being aware of that. Right, before we get into the conversation with Michael today, it sounds like it could be a fascinating conversation. Let's quickly do this.
Interesting quote or fact.
Interesting quote or fact.
Interesting quote or fact. It's time for the interesting quote or fact of the week.
What you got? You got a quote or fact?
I got this sent to me by Tiny Track and Play on Instagram, and I thought it was quite good. Sort of what we sort of moving on from what we was talking about here. They said he must send this in. Quote of the week: "Old ways won't open new doors." I've never heard that before.
I like that.
So there we go. That's my little interesting.
No way.
Quote, yeah.
Guess what my quote is?
What?
From Lee Milner on LinkedIn. Old ways won't open new doors.
You're a liar.
Look there on my screen. Look at my screen. Never, guys, so synergistically linked. Do you think we were Siamese twins at birth?
Well, we're gonna have to quickly do an interesting fact now, because we can't just have quote.
What have you got? We're not supposed to have some sort of tombola thing that's started to come
where
in,
is
or like
that?
a
Where is that?
confetti cannon that sprays out.
Yeah, well, I bought the tombola. I saw
James
all the
Martin
things.
nicked it, didn't he?
I saw all of the doodly doos being done by Stevie. Where is that, Chuds?
Oh, Stevie's on holiday, that's why.
There we go.
They need printing out, organising, going through, checking, make sure they're all okay. I don't just want to throw you loads of
Sorry, guys.
random
Sounds like
stuff.
below the line there, blame excuse denial.
Oh,
No, I'm taking responsibility for it, and I want it to be good.
There you go.
I'm not just going to rush it because you want to throw
Interesting.
some random facts out there.
Oh, here we go.
I like it.
This podcast has got enough features for today.
Shut everybody, shut.
Chance everybody, yeah. There you go. Available for motivational talks when you need him. What was I going to say? I was going to say about your shirt.
Oh, of course you were. Here we go. What would you like to say about my shirt?
I don't know. I got told, James Martin, big friend of the podcast, he told me something really funny. He took a screenshot of me. He said, I hope you did, because I had a really bad haircut last week, but really bad hair before I went to the hairdressers. And I said, I was going to the hairdressers. And he said to me, "Did you pay for that haircut? Because if you did, you need to get your money back." And I thought that was very funny. That's my no, but I didn't. It was pre the haircut. Right. Well, that's interesting fact to quote the week. Not a good edition of it, I don't think.
Not a good edition
because you got to buy one get one free. Same quote.
How mad is that though? That we're saying we got the same quote. Unless he is tiny rails and he's just DMing people to make sure he gets his point across. But Lee Milner, thank you very much. Right, we're going to talk to Michael very shortly, but just to give a bit more context to some of the challenges, we mentioned the challenges earlier, but we didn't tell you all of the information that we have assimilated from him. We asked Michael, we said, where do you want to be in 1 year's time? He said, well, the turnover to be at 3.5 million quid with the profit margin of 20% before director salaries and dividends. What will the business look like when it's finished? He said, well, this is a good question. We tried to focus on a 5-year increment, and over the next 5 years, we are focusing on improving the business and growing the business ready for sale. 10 million quid in turnover and at least 20% profit margin. Whether we will sell this or not is another matter, but he's building it to sell with the end in mind.
Well, if he gets to 10 million with 20% profit margin, I need to get coached by him. That's good.
That is good.
Not many do it.
They don't. Do you make the profit you want to make, and if so, what is it? He says we are
Certainly
currently making. Oh, say again.
Certainly in waste.
Yes,
because it's commoditised.
He's also, based on what he's currently doing profit margin, he's got some way to go. Do you make the profit that you want to make? And if so, what is it? He said, we are currently roughly at 11% profit margin before directors' pay. So it's ramping up by another £1.5 million quid and taking it another 9% in profit.
No one wants to overpay for their waste, do they?
No. It's commoditised? Would you say it's a commoditised business?
If someone puts the prices up for our waste bill, we would instantly
shop around. Would you?
Without a doubt.
What else would you do that with? Utilities?
Anything that's what I call an ice cube business. You don't care who you buy your ice cubes from.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So utilities would fall into that?
Yeah, I mean, look, what would... Oh, absolutely, utilities.
But would you stay... So
just going on the waste thing, if they said, yeah, we could be there to suit your opening times, we could come more regularly, little and often, all of that, you would say, well, that's worth paying a premium for.
So in that instance there, do you have it that your team, now it's at the scale that it is, do they do a regular check of recurring cost on that kind of stuff?
Well, I do, yeah. I mean, I'm going through everything and I push to make sure that we become in-house as possible. So one of the things that we've just done on our Marsh Farm is photography. We used to outsource that for our Christmas grottos and rides and everything. We've just bought all that in-house, learned how to do that, brought the technology in-house because we was paying quite a chunk of the margin out to a third party, and so that's ours now.
And is that through the AV stuff that you're doing?
Yeah. So Ollie's team will look after
AV
that.
Ollie?
AV Ollie, yeah.
AV Ollie's a bit of a wizard, isn't he?
He loves it, yeah.
He is a bit of a wizard. Right, finally wrapping up.
But also, like I used to do all of our events. I used to third party that out. We do all that in-house now.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are nervous about bringing things in-house, but as soon as you've got enough volume, you should really look at it.
So this brings me back...
Because that's how you get your higher profit margins.
But this brings me back to the point that we made earlier about why would you... I know that you might not be excited by that, and AV is still more of your bag than picking up rubbish bags, but why would you not, at £1 million of spend on rubbish, why would you not be proactively looking at that? Just even if it was to service...
Because I haven't got the who, not how. And
fine.
Yeah, and I have no base knowledge, and none of my team have any base knowledge at it.
Right.
And you need permits and regulation. Not that I'm scared about any of that. But if there was because we're all over the country, like if it was all in Essex, I probably would look at it.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Final thing that we asked to Michael, we said, what do you spend your day-to-day time in the business doing? And he said he's mainly on marketing and sales and finding ways to automate tasks that are costly. And then he's got a bunch of questions that he would like to ask.
I just wanted to work on that in-house thing, because I will tell Michael is, what can you bring in other waste services? Can you get in the big lorries? Can you get in the skips and do the full ecosystem? And what happens sometimes is you get in-house resistance. So if you look at the different types of personalities that make up a school, a charity, an army, a government, or indeed in enterprise in business, you have a collection of personalities. You've got the odd weirdo that's like me. So I have my isms, my bigger picture thinking, like move us forward, do things that seem uncomfortable. Now, remember, most people want to be comfortable. You know, like in his, well, why do we want lorries? We haven't got an operator's license. You know, like let's just keep it to simple 3.5 tonners. That, you know, why would we want to get skips? You know, like But I promise you, in my experience, you might have a little bit of treacle walking to bring things in-house. So one of the things that I'm getting now in my team is that I want to be making all of our software again in-house. When I started out in 2007, I made my own software, and it was the best.
Did you?
And then, you know, updates and everything. We wasn't big enough to keep it updated. Now we are big enough. We've made Camp Beaumont's software in-house. I'm going to create a piece of software with Chuds and the JSE team for Accelerator. Very excited about this. And I want a piece of software for Cafe Deli. We've got an in-house piece of software that operates that business, and we want to make that better again. But then I would want to do it for our tilling, for our ticketing, the whole kit caboodle. And I think that is much easier to do now than ever before. But the resistance is coming to me from team saying, well, you know, what if that person leaves? Well, we've got 3 full-time developers anyway now across our group, because we're doing basic stuff and doing our own software on partypieces.co.uk, for example. Little plug there. But I'm getting resistance to do more and more of it. Like Janks is saying, like, you know, let's just pay someone else to do it. I think we can be in-house and stop paying. We are, as a business, paying around £600,000 a year for software.
Wow.
Yeah, for all the things that we use, whether that be BDDD and whether that be our tilling software, whether that be Zero or whatever, Dex and all these things. So I want to be making our own software in-house and put that 600,000 into salaries and have it so that it's perfect for us.
How much of like a multiple of spend do you need? So, for example, if somebody comes in and you go, well, it's costing us 600k, but we can develop all this stuff, it's going to cost us 3 million quid. If you can see it in 5 years...
I wouldn't do. No, that I wouldn't do. But if I say it's costing us 600k, we could do it for 600k, so we wouldn't save any, but it would actually give us exactly what we need for our business, and it'd be better. Then I would think about that.
How much more would you be willing to, if it's going to like
more?
Hurt
No, not yet. No, not yet.
No.
But if he gave us operation, it gave a better numbers, better KPI tracking, made the team better, made everything sweet. I mean, that might be too difficult. Like Accelerator, which is the next piece of software that we're going to make for businesses, well, I'll be using it in my business to KPI and track all the numbers. Think of it like everything that you need for your business apart from Zero. So we're making that right now for my team to Accelerator, to make them better at tracking numbers, doing what they say they're going to do, all of that good stuff. And then I will sell it to entrepreneurs and business owners, but I'll make it as affordable as possible.
Yeah,
I'm very excited about it.
Wow, watch this space.
But what I'm trying, this is this full circle round, is the in-house resistance. If you're a business owner right now and you're saying we should be doing this ourselves, I think sometimes you get resistance from team because they don't want it to go wrong.
Yeah,
they want it all. You know, why change?
But also the fear factor, like if your tilling systems go down and it goes wrong internally for a day, and and that money doesn't route to the right bank accounts, you know, in your size now, that's probably a couple of £100,000 that's disappeared. So that's
that is exactly the
mistake,
type of resistance. Well, I'm like, well, what's the worst that can happen? But if we get through that treacle, on the other side, is the overall product better?
Yeah.
And what we're very lucky is we can test it at one side, get it good there before we, you know, throw the baby out the bath.
Before we bring Michael on finally, because he's been sitting there for half an hour now at this point, bless him. How much resistance do you need to make you change your mind? So, like
the facts can change my mind.
So the software, for example, let's say Janks, Aaron, Leah, all the sort of senior managers of different verticals of the business, they're all going, Jim, this makes no sense.
I do get some of that still.
Do you? And
I mean, I know, like the photography thing, I absolutely know that they were all resistant to doing that.
But now
it's all working and it's brilliant. Like they're the flag bearers for being in house,
right?
But they will when there are one or two things that we've done in-house and not do well.
They'll use that. They'll
But
weaponise that.
That's
They'll
yeah.
weaponise it against
But that's
you.
human beings, and it's my job to leave their fears.
So how
but if you have the who's in place,
Yeah.
then they're not worried about the hows.
So what, for the example of the photography stuff then, for example, they all went, no, this is a bad idea, it's a bad idea.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't go, it's a bad idea, it's a bad idea. They got it, but I could feel, they didn't go, Jim, you're stupid, but I could feel oh God, this has worked so well for 10 years.
Right,
we've not had this headache, but I'm prepared to have the little headache for a little while. And we missed the first weekend of Grotto photos.
Right.
But because we wasn't ready. But now it's brilliant. And, like that anxiety has left. But that's what entrepreneurship is, isn't it? It's like, no, I'm afraid we're doing this.
Yeah.
Sorry. You don't innovate, you evaporate.
Yeah, it's true.
And let me tell you now, JB, collectively over 5 years, that's probably a £300,000 saving for us as a business.
Yeah.
Have that in your cheese sandwich.
Yeah, not to be sniffed at. Is it? When you are proved right,
no one goes around saying it. I just know. I can see their body language change.
but do you?
I mean, the AV as well for all of my events. I think it's safe to say, Judge, back me up here a bit. Trace was she didn't say, I don't think you should do this, but I think she was a bit nervous that we were going to do.
I think her point was that it's done so well by other people. Do we have that capability? Big question mark.
Yeah.
But the question is not, well, we don't, me and Trace definitely don't, but get someone else that does.
Yeah. And it was a little bit difficult, and now we have got on it. It's actually better than ever, isn't it?
The thing is, just from someone that actually works with the team underneath you, Jim, when you say we're going to do it all in-house, none of us have the answer to that. So our first option is, shit, how do we do that? And you haven't then introduced Ollie, who is now working with us. So there's a gap between what you're expecting and what we can actually do to solve the problem.
Yeah.
So then your team are probably sat there going, we don't have the answer. And then James goes away and fixes it.
Yeah,
but that does leave everyone else with a question mark going, okay, so we're not going to outsource it, but we also don't know how to do it. And then that's where you come in and find the who, but we don't have that. So the gap for us was, we're going to run an events company, are we? How the hell do we do that? Well, the answer was, Ollie, who knows AV, will come in and do it for us. But there was a period of time where we didn't know Ollie existed.
Well, I didn't know he existed either.
So you said that you were going to do it before you knew
That's
he
the
was.
bit that just. So I said, yeah, we're doing this. I mean, that was a bit easier because I have a base knowledge of this stuff.
Yeah, sure. We could put an event on if we had to.
Yeah. I mean, it was, and we didn't do BMC. We did. Did we do BMC first?
No, we did Buying Businesses, which is at Roller City.
With our own stuff.
Yeah.
Which is still not a small space and a small setup, is
No.
it?
And then I met Ollie, and he solved the problem. And then, but now I know that Tracy or Chad Stuff have no anxiety about AV at our events. That's not in your. It's no one's thinking about that now.
No, not all.
Because
No.
we've done it 3 times on our own, or whatever, 2 times on our own, and it all went like swimmingly perfect.
So should one of the things that entrepreneurs almost as a metric or a yardstick of the doing the right stuff be how much time are you spending solving problems or bridging the gap between where you are now and where you need to go?
It's IMCR, isn't it? I'm working
Hello.
on innovation,
Oh, okay.
marketing, cultural recruitment.
He's got acronyms for everything, this guy.
And so,
Guy.
here we're innovating and recruiting, 2 of the 4. And like now so if we was going to go and do a big event, we would factor in 15k for AV. Well, now we don't because we own it all. And we think, we don't even think about the cost of that. And the chairs, the tables. So we can, we could go and put an event on in Manchester and, we could do Business Masterclass Manchester. Not that we're doing that, by the way. I'm just saying that's
Unless
not
you want that in the
happening.
comments. Link up in the comments if you'd like BMC Manchester.
So should we get on with the general chit-chat
Yeah, I
of the
think we
podcast?
should. Yeah, I think we should really.
Good chat, JB.
I enjoy it. Let us know in the comments because we are listening to the comments because people didn't like the start of the old podcast, did they?
No.
We tried a new format. We tried some jingles, and there was resistance.
There was resistance.
Resistance we couldn't overcome because of the sheer weight of the resistance.
The end of the year is when business owners realise just how much time they've been juggling payments, receipts and spreadsheets. Revolut Business brings all of that under control and helps you start the new year strong. You can track spending in real time, automate your expenses and instantly issue cards to team members with custom limits, all from one simple dashboard. Plus, it plugs straight into your accountancy tools like Xero or QuickBooks, so closing out the year doesn't turn into a paperwork nightmare. If you want more clarity, better control and less stress heading into 2026, sign up to Revolut Business at www.revolut.com/RB/James. Do that before December the 31st, 2025. Put some money in your account and you'll receive a £200 welcome bonus. Subscription fees and terms and conditions apply. Big thanks to Revolut Business for sponsoring this episode. Let's get back to it.
But let's get on to Michael and his business now, because he's been sat there bloody patiently waiting. Michael, good morning to you, sir. How the devil are you?
Yeah, good morning to you both. Very well, thank you. And thank you for having me on the pod.
Absolute
Good
pleasure.
stuff.
So, obviously, we've talked a little bit about some of the challenges that you've got, and you've been trading 5 years, you're doing 200k a month, and there's some challenges and stuff, and 30 odd people. Give us the 30-second origin story of you in the business, though, mate. So we've got some more context to the content.
Yeah, sure. So I actually worked in waste in Australia when I was out there for a year. This was after the Navy, and I liked
You was in the Navy as well?
Yeah, I was. Yeah. I was in the Navy for 4 years. Well, 5 if you count my last, but yeah, I wasn't there much. But yeah,
What do you mean you wasn't there? Where were you if you weren't there much?
I saved up a lot of my leave, so I got to utilise it and get myself out to Australia a little bit early whilst still receiving pay from the Navy.
Oh, that's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, it was nice. It was a good start.
Situation.
Yeah, wow.
It was a good situation.
So your Navy ended up in Australia. What was the why Australia from the Navy?
I needed a break, so I just took a year to sort of decide whether I was going to go to uni or start my own business. And I got very lucky, actually working with one of the companies out there, and worked my way up the ladder. They offered me sponsorship, but I explained to Matthew, the owner at the time, that I was going to go home and start my own one. So he wished me luck.
So, how many years were you in the Navy?
5 years technically.
Wow. So you got a Navy pension, have you?
Yeah, very small one though.
Wow. Did you have the time of your life doing that?
Some of the times were really great. You know, you met some really good people, but then there are other times where, I mean, we spent, I think it was 7 months on at sea in one sitting, and that was down to the humanitarian relief over in the Philippines when they had that huge flood. So we helped with that, and that was a lot of hours. It was probably one of the hardest times in my life, I would say. Just lack of sleep, and you work in what they call sixes, so it's 6 hours on, 6 hours off, 6 hours on, and 6 hours off. So you can imagine. Yes, yeah, you do that for 9 weeks. You know, the whole ship has a lack of morale. It's really not that great.
But you didn't get off the ship for 7 months.
No. We got a few stops, but it was primarily working stops. So when we landed in Singapore, we were there for 3 or 4 days, and that was loading up the ship with rice, wheelbarrows, shovels, and you know, all the sort of things you would need for aid to pass on to the Philippines, essentially.
And did the Philippines pay the Navy to do that?
I don't know. I believe it's aid, so I think it's sort of donated almost. Same with us. You know, we went to the islands. A lot of the guys helped rebuild schools and structures that were required for them. You know.
Wow,
What a life experience, though.
Yeah.
What age did you go in?
I joined up when I was 19.
Wow,
Yeah, 19, and I was there till about 23, 24 years old.
And then you went to Australia.
Yes.
Worked for someone in a waste company in Australia. Is that right?
Yeah, so I mean, at first I worked on the boats doing this. This was probably the most fun experience I had in my life. But it was about 6 months working in Airlie Beach on taking people on tours of the Great Barrier Reef on the boats.
That's the one you want, isn't it? That's the gig.
It's brilliant.
That's
Doesn't
the
pay
gig.
good enough though to live.
No, that's very true. What a place!
Yeah, that was a really good gig. And then I went to Sydney and worked for a company there for my final sort of 6 months in the waste industry.
Wow.
And you had no sort of prior desire to be a waste magnate at that point in time. It just so happened that was the gig that you got in Sydney.
Yeah, I got into it, and I found that, oh wow, one of the things that really shined for me was I was quite good at helping them with their marketing, their operational side, and sales. So I was like, oh well, I must be quite good at this, and I rose up the ranks quite quickly, especially with the incentive of a bonus structure. So yeah, I said, oh, maybe this is what my calling is.
And then why did you decide you were going to pick up that skill set you'd quickly develop and bring it back home rather than staying out there?
Well, if I stayed out there, I would have had to have worked for a company probably for another 5-6 years to get
the sponsorship
citizenship. Yeah. And within those times, you're also sort of attached to that business, and you can't leave. And I find that quite daunting to some extent.
Wow. So now back in the UK. So how old are you now?
I'm 34 now.
So you've been back in the UK at 29. You started this waste business.
Yes.
And just tell us, what's your USP in waste compared to a skip company?
Well, I mean, USP, sorry. Could you tell me what that is?
Unique. So, yeah, what is
Yes. Well, we don't offer the skips. So we offer primarily the man and van style waste collection. So it's more fast, reliable and reactive. So if you've got I know you've got quite a few industrial estates. And if you have someone who fly tips waste there, you'd have to wait for a skip usually. Whereas if you call a service like us, we turn up the same day and we'll get rid of it immediately.
And what would that cost? So if I had a transit van style full of waste, what's the cost for that to be removed?
Well, it depends on the volume there, but if we go on a full load, for example, then a 14 yard in one of our smaller vehicles is $420 including the VAT, but there are some additional charges for your waste stuff, fridges, mattresses, and I know one of the guys on the previous podcast mentioned pops, which is the upholstered items. So around $420. If you've got a trade account with us, then it's a bit it's a lot less actually.
So what would a trade account be, like a local authority or someone like that?
Yeah, trade accounts are primarily sort of housing associations, facility management companies or energy companies that utilise our services a lot. And we just offer them more better rates because they will send us anywhere between sort of 50 to 70 jobs per month. And they're all quite closely located. So it keeps costs down.
So out of that 420, you've got to pay for the vehicle, the fuel, the member of staff to do it.
Oh yeah, the list goes on and on. The insurance,
and then Then what do you do with it?
So the waste tends to go back to waste transfer stations, and we have a variety that we utilise in the UK. And
what would they charge you for that full load?
I mean, that varies. It depends on weight. But if you go on the assumption that the average per ton rate is roughly 155 to 170 plus VAT. But not every load, weighs a ton.
Yeah. So there's a lot comes out.
You don't actually know the cost of the job then, do you, until you get it there?
That's a good point.
Well, we don't. I mean, we have an up to a ton allowance. So if essentially we charge whatever comes first, whether it's 14 yards or 1 ton. So if you have 14 yards of light material waste, then it's 420. If it's 6 yards but it weighs a ton, then it's 420 on the standard pricing structure.
And how do you know what is it? Because you've got a weigh bridge type thing on each vehicle.
No, we use the weigh bridges at the waste facilities.
Right. So you're billing after you've done the job?
No, we tend to bill before. We only ever bill after the job if it's a commercial customer in most instances.
So what if a customer phones you and says, yeah, I've got about a ton's worth of stuff in the driveway, and you go pick it up and you're like, this is 1.3, and actually they didn't tell us that they've got half a ton of nappies which need biohazard waste disposal. Would you retrospectively go back to that, or are you quite good at sort of pricing the job so you're always undercooking it rather than overcooking it price-wise for you guys?
We have two ways. So I mean, there's one, the type of customer that will literally just go onto our website and they will book a 10-yard collection, and then we will turn up, and if it's more, we will only do the 10 yards and then recommend them a revisit. Or we'll do it there and then and ask them if they wish to pay the extra. Our guys in the vehicles actually manage that side mostly, so they will, look at it and say, oh, just so you know, this is going to be a 14-yard collection. Do you want me to call the office? We can increase the load size. So it's sort of a point of sale. But if in some instances it goes over by 100 kilos or something, we tend to let it slide because there are other loads that we collect that weigh maybe 400 kilos.
Yeah,
gotcha. So
got
it
it.
sort of evens itself out.
Yeah.
God, it's a bit of science that goes into it, isn't it? You've got drivers who are point of sales and they're upselling people or rebooking yardage, and God, there's more to this than meets the eye, isn't there?
Just quickly now. So on your business, so you're doing £210,000 a month. You want to get it to 10 million.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a big enough hungry audience to get that easily, and easily being the word here? Yeah, there is.
It's not, I wouldn't say easily, but yeah, there is definitely to do just the man and van without adding additional services like skips and stuff. You can get it quite comfortably up to 10 million.
So what would accelerate you and what would put the brakes on you?
Well, for the acceleration, I would say getting more facility management businesses, housing associations, councils. We have tried the tenders, but that's not something I enjoy that much. But yeah, those would be the things that accelerate, the things that could put the brakes on us. Vehicles going down, some of these facility management companies, leaving and going elsewhere. As you mentioned at the start, if you raise your prices, people tend to start to look elsewhere. But in saying that, we've got an extremely good retention rate, and when we do raise our prices, we back it with the reasoning behind it.
So the thing that would accelerate you is getting more customers, doing good marketing. Is that really all it is?
Yeah.
So cash is not a problem?
Cash is, but we are very fortunate that we have an investor in the business that does help us as and when we need to grow.
So if you said to him, I've got a contract, I need 300 grand's worth of vans, he would sort that headache out for you?
Yeah, immediately. Yeah.
Oh. So cash is covered. So getting customers, marketing, like that, if that's all it is, I mean, vehicles going down, that would put the brake on. I mean, you get to a stage where you probably have 2 spare vehicles, so that never happens. Once you've got 20 vehicles or 50 vehicles, you have 2 or 3 there.
We're at that point now. We have a spare vehicle for every 5 vehicles on the road.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah, it's not good when you have, for example, in 2025, we've had 7 engines blow up due to wet belt failures, and that's not good.
I mean, the other thing what about buying some other waste companies? Have you thought about that in your little noggin?
We have, yeah. The problem with it is, it tends to be the smaller companies that sell, and I'm talking between 1 and 3 vehicles, and they're asking for.
Keep telling yourself that. Keep telling yourself. I know a big one that just got sold in Essex, and they've got, I reckon, 80 trucks.
Oh, really? Yeah. I mean, I don't know if we could afford that, but no, the smaller ones we look at.
Afford it, you can't afford it. Stop saying that. We've got to sort this. This has got to stop. It's got to stop. So I would be, I'd get off of this podcast and send 5 emails to business brokers that and just put waste companies for sale UK, and just go and view them. Don't worry about getting the money, because I think if you go and view them, it'll open up your mindset to the art of the possible. To the art. Of
He's
the
got
possible.
an investor who can afford it.
Yeah,
let them cash in.
Yeah, I mean, if you're profitable and your investor can pay the deposit, the bank will come up with 70% of the money easy, or 75% of the money.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Well, that's because you're telling yourself it's not possible.
There's 27 waste recycling and cleaning businesses for sale in Essex today.
There you go, baby.
Wow.
There you go. Just Googled it. There you go, job done.
So the speeding up thing really is marketing, getting customers. What are you doing to upskill yourself in that space?
Yeah, so I mean, we have a list of customers that we want. and we tend to reach out to them regularly, offering, I've offered a couple of them a free service, for 2 or 3 collections to see if they like it. But it's very hard to get your foot in the door with some of these facility management companies, or the housing associations, and a lot of their work tends to be tendered work for 5 years, and they do tend to have a preferred contractor that they've worked with.
Yeah, I get that. But that's good for you, because once you've got them, it means it's hard to lose them.
Yes, yeah, very much.
What about direct mail? Have you tried that, letters in the post?
I've not, but I've listened to the podcast, and that's one thing I'm actually preparing as we speak.
Yeah, less and less people are doing it, so you're getting more share of the doormat than ever before. Very good.
And I listened to sending them a package of something rather than just a letter, because then it ends up on their desk.
Absolutely, you get it, you got it. So the breaks funding doesn't really sound like an issue. I would say the way to accelerate this massively is try and buy some companies. Stop telling yourself it's not possible. Of course it's possible. People have done it before. Don't ever forget that Elon Musk bought Twitter on the back of text messages to friends and family that are also millionaires and billionaires, but he's put himself around those people to ask him, and then funded it on his smartphone. Madness.
Yeah, Larry Ellison gave him $2 billion.
Really?
Yeah, so he texted Larry Ellison and said, so I'm buying Twitter. Would you be interested? He said, yeah, I could throw $1 billion if that's what you think's enough. And he said, I think 2 would be better. And he gave him 2.
Yeah, that's like our text messages, isn't it? Yeah. You need a bill, Jim. You're like, cool, have 2.
But I think there's a big lesson there for entrepreneurs and business owners. Are you in those networks of people? Elon Musk, Larry Ellison, Jeff Bezos made sure they were in the right places to have the right conversations with the right people, not just money. Are you around the right brain space?
Mindset.
Yeah, you obviously do need to be around some better mindset, Michael. If you just came and sat next to me for a month, you would have bought 3 waste companies.
Yeah, I think the issue there is when I say it wasn't possible, it's because the
you did say
companies
that.
I'm looking at are the ones that are, within what I assume is a value that we can afford. Sort of the 200 to 300k. Yeah, no, I agree.
Have a day off. Think bigger.
Look, people are buying into you as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. You can tell you're not your average waste company that's just picking up some stuff and chucking it somewhere else.
And you are the art of smooth seas do not make skilled sailors.
Literally.
Agreed.
You are literally that.
Funny.
Let's just touch on the specific challenges, just in case we haven't gone into enough detail on that. So, biggest challenge number 1: underdeveloped B2B growth channels. I think we've touched on that already. Tenders. I think you maybe bring in a tendering specialist.
Absolutely, I would employ that person.
100%.
Because if you find them boring, guess what? You're not going to do them very well.
Yeah. Well, we did employ someone, and we trialed it for I think it was about a year, roughly, between a year, 8 months, and a year. But it was quite a substantial cost. We found that we were coming second or third, and on one tender, which we're not 100% sure, but we're quite sure that we won it. They actually just cancelled the tender because they had a preferred supplier, which was bizarre.
What? And then so this person you employed didn't get you didn't win you one tender.
No.
Yeah, that's a bummer. But
yeah. It's a hard process.
Yeah, like I always say, you have to kiss a few frogs to find your prince, and
just because that person didn't work, don't think the tenders don't work.
So I would get someone that can do tendering, that's their sort of big goal, but also get them to do business development as well, so you're not disappointed.
Okay, yeah. So they have 2 roles essentially.
Yeah, because I do think if you put in for a tender each month, once you've got the tenders, they'll be very similar. You just need someone to chase that up, don't you? But then they can, say, look, you need to write letters, make calls, and then hold them accountable for bringing in new business, and that's how they get bonus. So it's not all about the tenders; it's all about accountability that you can manage.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because it's more of a business development role in this, isn't it? It's you've got to go out there and
build the relationships.
Yeah.
I agree.
Challenge number 2 then was rising operational and administrative costs. What's the specific challenge with that, Michael?
Well, you've got sort of fixed costs within the business that you can't really change. Obviously, the rise in national insurance as well, which is staggering. That sort of wiped out 48k this year. for us. But yeah, there's certain things we can't really change. I mean, like the introduction of POPs within the industry was 2 years ago, and that increased our costs by about, well, essentially anywhere between £20 to £30 per item, and we're collecting thousands of these a year. We obviously increase our costs on the overall charge for the service, but you've got a variety of companies out there that you can't go too high, otherwise you then essentially lose a lot of the work.
Well, you are in a commoditized business.
We are.
You have to think about Google here. You know, this is, their most customer and their ideal customer. You might have to think about your man in a van business as your Google, but what could be your PPC business that makes all the money? And I would be buying other types of waste businesses that your man in a van businesses go, all right, we can do everything with them. It might help you win tenders, so you can do the Euro bins, you can do all of these things, so that you would build a big ecosystem of waste where you can do everything that makes people think, well, I'll use them because they're really good.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And now you've got an investor on board that sorts out all the money problems. It's a highly desirable industry. I would be speaking to people like Grant Thornton. I would be speaking to other M&A divisions and companies and say, look, this is us. We're looking to acquire. And I reckon they'll send you potential things to buy every single week.
Okay. I'll have a little look into that. Grant Thornton, you said his name?
Grant Thornton, they're a top 5 accountant in the UK. I mean, so, yeah.
Right.
But there's other M&A firms, loads of M&A firms.
Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that.
Proactively taking notes there.
Yeah.
on a typewriter.
Yeah.
Third biggest challenge then, margin pressure and profitability decline. That
Well, I think that's the same. It's the same thing, isn't it?
Same thing, yeah.
Yeah, we have this in our business, like sometimes that most an ideal customer thing is a big lesson of mine that I've learned in my 20-year career. If you can keep people regularly buying from you, if you think about supermarkets selling bread and milk for no money, they literally sell it for no money, but then people buy the clothes when they're there and they buy their makeup when they're there, and they've got other things that make them the margin.
Yeah.
And that's why that ecosystem of products is really important. And so if you can keep price ranging convenience on that thing, and then they buy the margin winners every now and then from you, then it could be a really good business.
Yeah. I mean, we sort of try focus on getting the most value out of each customer, but also providing the most value.
I think this is really important. So say one of your B2B customers, a housing association that you regularly do work with, what else are they buying that that you could provide that would be good? Is it pat testing? Is it electrical testing? Is it fire safety things? Is there any other things that sort of just fit around you that's so much more margin led that you get because they're doing the regular stuff with you? That's fantastic. Yeah. And then you think about Disney, they're not making any money really from their content compared to getting someone to buy a Disney cruise or something like that, but they get all of that because of their regular sales.
Yeah.
Right, let's jump into the questions then, because I think we've covered the main challenges. Question number 1 that you wanted to ask was, what strategies would you recommend for maintaining profit margins? I think we've covered that one. We'll go to question number 2. You often talk about the power of partnerships and networking for smaller operators trying to break into larger B2B contracts with facilities management firms. What's the most effective way to build credibility and get a foot in the door? We have over 4,000 5-star reviews and we find it very difficult.
Guarantees, testimonials, loosely say that if you work for one council, say, look, this is what we do for another council. That's very important. That's big. Why do people, someone's got Nikes, I'll buy Nikes. I watch Stranger Things, I'll watch Stranger Things. It's like human beings are a little bit sheepy. So if you can just sort of subtly say, look, these are all the other people we work with, that's very powerful.
Do you know what I'd also say with your marketing, mate? I think
go for it.
I like your website. So I'm saying marketing. I'm just looking at the website. I like the website. It's clean. It's clear. It's concise. It's really good. But I think you've got a really good personality, and you're very articulate. I think some stuff that is not building your personal brand to grow the business necessarily, but just shows the humans that are involved in it. So you know that if, for example, you've got a family member who lives down in Hampshire and you think, oh, I'm going to send this firm down to move Nan's sofa, I feel confident in that because they've got clean uniforms, they've got nice vehicles. This Michael guy explains very clearly about how the pricing works. I just think a bit more actual content or human-led explainers on your services because the way you've laid it out and the SEO stuff and how you've got all the locations and the services, that's all laid out really nicely. I think you just need a human element to each of those services. So again, when you're pitching for that stuff or when people find you, they find the people behind the business, not just facts and figures, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean?
Go for it.
Just quickly, if I ask you a question, I do this in my seminars a lot, what percentage of your time is on operations and what percentage of your time is growing the business in terms of getting customers and doing proactive stuff like that?
My entire time is spent on sales, marketing, and growing the business.
That's good.
Yeah.
So who's your manager that's managing everything?
So it's the other director, Edward. He tends to manage the operations side, the vehicles, the guys, the HR stuff. We have a good team in the office as well that do a lot of the operations stuff. I'll jump in on it once, if someone's off, but the vast majority of my time is on growing the business.
And what are the things that you do to grow the business? So you get into the office today, obviously you've done the podcast today, but on a normal day, what would you do to proactively get things cooking?
So the first thing I do when I get in is I look at all of the leads that came in the day before, record those leads, record the conversion rate. That takes me about 30 to 35 minutes. I send that across to the teams so that they know what their conversion rate was the previous day. I look at the revenue from quotations sent out, how much of that is converted so far. And then I tend to go through the profit and loss and look at the management accounts. And throughout the day, I will set up the LinkedIn so that there's some marketing and outreach on there. And I will send anywhere between sort of 5 and 10 emails to other businesses I'm looking to, work with. And things like that, really. Helping out with the SEO, AdWords management as well for the PPC. That tends to be my main role.
See, to me, that sounds very administrative in terms of marketing. I think the entrepreneur, which is I want you to think, am I doing a big deal that will double the size of my business with this phone call, with this time that I'm spending here? That's why going to see businesses to buy. Am I going to see someone that could spend £1 million a year with us? Yeah, if you really are serious about having a £10 million business that makes £2 million, checking the ROAS, checking the profit and loss every single day sounds very operational stuff to me. You want someone telling you all that, going back to LinkedIn messages, going back to quotations. You want to be thinking a lot bigger if you want to take this to the next level, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think at the moment that's sort of the role that's required for the place we're at. I mean, the companies I'm targeting on a daily basis to try and get them to utilize our service, get that foot in the door. Those are companies that are spending anywhere between $500,000 to $1 million a year on their clearance style stuff.
You're doing that from your office?
Yes, I do that.
I'd be getting in the bloody car and knocking on the door and seeing if they were spending $1 million off. But what you need is a dashboard system that tells you all them things. You're obviously wanting to know the P&L, the inquiries, the leads, and all of that stuff. But that should be on a one-page dashboard that someone that works for you, that assists you, prepares all that so that you can go and do the very important non-urgent stuff that really moves the needle.
Yeah. We're designing some software at the moment. I know you mentioned you like to do your own software, but we're spending quite a bit a year, not anywhere near as much as yourself. But yeah, we're designing something, and that is going to hopefully automate some of the tasks. One of the things we have designed already is it's a tipping calculator. As I mentioned, there's so many waste transfer stations all over. It was a manual task before, having to calculate the most cost-effective thing, and we designed, it doesn't exist anywhere, a system that basically we type in postcode to the next postcode of the job, what waste type, any extra charges, and it tells you this is the most cost effective.
That's good. That's a very important non-urgent task. Once it's done, it's done. That's
Exactly.
the sort, anything that's like, I just want you to sit when you're doing your thing thinking, could I be paying someone £50 an hour to do this?
Yeah.
If the thing that you're doing right now is going to make you £100,000, then you're doing the right thing. And if it's £50 and under, employ someone to do it.
Yeah, and get out there.
Yeah, your job is to seriously grow the business. And what you just told me there, I'm sorry, it sounds like administrative tasks that you could get a very competent manager to do so that you can go out there and do the impossible. You don't want to be doing all that. That's possible stuff. There's great people out there that can do that. You're the big cheese and you need to make big moments happen.
The big cheese, I like that.
Good. Right. I think we've covered everything, haven't we, JB?
I think we have indeed. Let me just double check. I think there was one more question. Final question then. We have managed to reduce... Oh, here we go. So this goes into marketing. We have managed to reduce our marketing spend and are seeing revenue growth in certain divisions through marketing and LinkedIn outreach. From your perspective, how should businesses decide where to double down on brand building versus performance marketing?
Look, if I had this business, I would just be on the road all the bloody time.
Yeah.
Because if a customer's £1 million, I would be doing all the LinkedIn and stuff, but I think the real thing is going around an industrial estate. Who's your waste with? We can look after you. Let us do it free for a week. I would be giving away free service for a week because if I'm prepared to spend £300 on Google Ads to get a customer, I'd rather just say, here's a voucher to spend £300. Well, why would I not do that?
Yeah.
I can really try before I really buy. And I promise you, if you got up in the morning at 9 o'clock and visited 50 customers, just potentials that like in the car, knocking on the door, in industrial estates, by the end of the day, you will have new customers.
Yeah, I think you're right.
The business owner of the 60s, 70s and 80s and 90s had to do. And hardly anyone could be bothered to do that now. So it's getting huge wins and results.
That's how I got my first customer.
Why did we not do that? Should we do that now? Let's do it now.
Just told us the answer.
No. It's now time to play. How did you get your first customer? Here we go.
Jingle, sorry. Hang on.
Hang on a sec.
How did you get your first customer? How'd you get the car?
David needs to know because he's already told us.
How did you get your first
He
customer?
knocks the door. We already...
Well, no, I saw one of the neighbours down the road. So when I got back from Australia, I started my waste business within a week of landing off the aeroplane. But I got the vehicle, saw a neighbour down the road about 10 doors down, was getting their driveway done. I just knocked on their door and said, you thinking of getting a skip? And they said, yeah. And I said, look, I'll do all that for this price. And they said, oh, brilliant. Yeah, let's crack on.
Oh, come
So
on.
first customer.
I want people to listen to this, JB. And then let's stop doing it and use bloody Linky Dink.
Yeah, I'm not really a massive fan of LinkedIn, but it works. We've had some customers through there.
But additionally, not primarily.
Yeah.
Because
you get comfortable, don't you?
Yeah, it's more convenient just to use digital ads, Facebook, Google, and guess what? Because everyone is convenient, everyone's bloody doing it.
Yeah.
It's getting more and more expensive and lower and lower on the ROAS, and less people are bothered to get in a car and knock on doors.
And there's that saying, isn't there? That the magic you're looking for is in the work you're avoiding.
That's a good one, isn't it?
Yes.
He dropped a quote of the week. Is he doing the feature? Have you started co-hosting this show, Michael? Did I just become redundant?
I've not actually heard that. The magic you are looking for
is in the work you're avoiding.
You are looking for.
Chad will know this one. It's Chris Williamson all day.
Is in the work you are avoiding.
Yeah, I think I heard it from Denzel Washington when he did a college speech. If I
Have you ever
remember
heard
right.
that before, Chance?
He's had that loads of
of course,
times.
yes.
It is his favourite quote.
There we go, right. I like that. I've never heard that myself.
It's good, isn't it? Right, Michael,
Yes.
where can people find out more information if they want to sell their waste business to you? If they are from a facilities management company, maybe they are high up in Brentwood Council where they're sitting there going, I just need to sort my bins out. Where can they go to get support by you and your brilliant company?
Well, I mean, they can find me on LinkedIn. They just have to search Michael Miller.
Don't find him. He'll knock on your door come next week. He's out the door.
I'll find you.
Yeah, don't find me. I'll find you. Go on.
But yeah, no. Or if they're a business sort of leader, they can just visit us at www.zerowastegroup.co.uk.
Good stuff.
Fantastic stuff. Thank you ever so much for being on the show, my friend.
Thank you very much for you both having me.
Thank you
it was
for your
very
time.
enjoyable.
Very good conversation. Nice one, mate. All the very best.
Speak to you soon. Have a good day,
mate.
guys.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye, mate.
I suppose a little
What a
take
lucky
on
fella.
that. Yeah, very nice. The little take on that is the one that we always say: the diamonds you seek are beneath your feet.
You can never be
Cool.
quite
I like
outdone,
that.
can you?
No, but I think it's a similar sort of thing, isn't it?
It is a
It's
similar
like
thing.
the things that you want. I always think about that about my business. Marsh Farm has so many diamonds underneath it. Party Man World has so many diamonds within its walls, and I think we always look for the new rather than the successful.
We saw this on a recent vlog that Chud's done. You've done like a day in the life one, which I loved, by the way. I thought it was very, very good. But you having a meeting and you got really, really annoyed with some of the team, and you could see like your body language changed, and you sort of like crossed your arms, and you like very huffy and puffy.
Yeah,
is that from stuff that you're like, there's diamonds beneath our feet and we're not mining for them correctly?
Yeah. I think. Do you know what it was, JB? I had done a talk at the NEC, an exhibition a few weeks ago. Now, you've seen me on stage, but this was what I call a naked audience. So this isn't people that really know me. There wasn't
Swingers
naked.
Club. you started doing them gigs again. Balloon animals at Swingers Clubs.
I mean, they're a naked audience in terms of they're not used to my style. So it was much more entertaining than coming to one of my seminars.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't just business owners, it was everyone in the industry. And this bloke put his hands up and he said, James, who's running your business? Because you can't have you running it, jumping around and making everyone laugh and having a comedian. How have you done this? And then I switched and I explained it to him and he said, no, I can see there's another side to you and just the way you've answered that question. Now, I am happy clappy. I want to be positive and happy. But, there is a side of this that's serious. And I am very demanding if things are not going the way I want them to go. I try and be fair and reasonable, but in that Chuds wanted to make that day in the life, and I did watch it once it came out, and I thought maybe that is a bit too honest. I
thought it was great.
Yeah, but
But is it the diamonds beneath your feet is the thing that will irritate you the most? Will that cause you the most frustration?
But I think two things. I was frustrated because I was not holding my team accountable enough. So over the last, because we bought Confidential, we bought Camp Beaumont, we've done this, we've done that. We had some challenges that I've been dealing with. I haven't managed my managers enough to, from a leadership point of view, saying this is not good enough. What are you doing about it?
Yeah.
Because if you don't, make sure you hit the numbers and hit the profit and loss, you've got to recover from it and you've got to get it back. And it's much harder to do. Prevention is much harder to do than curing things in the first place.
Well, I love today's conversation. I think we should. I think we've got to rate them, haven't we? Got to do the 8 traits of the great.
It's got the board.
Support the show where award-winning entrepreneur James Sinclair rates our entrepreneurs out of a total score of 8.
Starting with the end in mind.
I think he does get that.
I don't think he does.
No?
I think he was still a bit woolly on that.
10 million quid.
Yeah, on the numbers.
Oh,
well, all right,
enough.
we'll give him a half. Passionate about their
Oh,
cause.
yeah, he loves waste, doesn't he?
Do you think?
Oh, he loves the business.
Untold amounts of resilience.
He's been in the Navy.
They master relationships with people.
Yeah, I think so.
Commercial awareness.
Yes.
They innovate so they don't evaporate. Building his own software, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're giving that. Master marketeers.
I don't think we can let him have it because he's not doing the number one job of a marketer, which is to open the door to make a sale. He's doing all of the other stuff, the ads, the LinkedIn.
He's doing like what we're doing. He's
Yeah.
very good at the technical side of it. Yeah. So we're giving him a 0 for
I
that.
think we've got to. Russ
Yeah.
has scored too well.
Yeah. that's the real thing. Because he's not there.
Everyone gets 8.
Yeah.
So we've got to find. We've got to chip
1,
away.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6.5. That's a
decent.
very good score. Can I just say, Michael? Yeah, You're probably closer to a 7 because we should give you at least half for a. We're going for 7 because
Are we?
I do think
7
so.
out of 8.
I do think so because
Wow.
I think he has a base level of marketing, but I think he could be very good. That's a very good score. I don't think we've had a 7 this year, have we? We've had a few 8s.
We've had a few 8. We had Gemma. We had the Herbal Dog as an 8 this year. I don't think we have had a 7.
Well, then it's a new song for you, JP.
Oh, fantastic. Just what we want. No, not that one. Oh, I can't even find
yeah, no, you had it.
Did I? Is it that one? Oh, it's right, okay.
It's a
Here
7.
Chud's is favorite part of the show. Sing along if you know the words, Chud's. He's got a 7. He's after entrepreneurial heaven. He's got a 7.
Yeah, baby.
He's after entrepreneurial heaven. He's got a 7.
Good
He's
score.
after entrepreneurial 7. He's got a 7. He's after entrepreneurial 7. He's got a 7. He's got a 7. He's after entrepreneurial heaven because he's got a 7. Chud's!
That's my.
He's never going to do it. Never going to do it.
That's still
Some
my
days,
favourite part of the
Some days
podcast.
I really
Chance.
think he gets close, and other days
Yeah.
his soul is cold. Today we've got a cold soul. We've got
Cold soul.
cold soul Chuds today.
Cold Soul Chuds.
Cold soul Chuds. I know what you're thinking. I enjoyed that podcast. That's enough of that nonsense. We've got more to go, my friends. Of course we have.
It's Jim versus JP on the quiz that's
Business C. Cheers, Chuds.
business knowledge and it's fun.
Which one's clever and which one's dumb?
Izzy Wizzy.
Let's get quizzy. Inside this envelope is a quizzical question related to the subject or the sector on which we have just discussed for the last 45 minutes or so. And today's quizzical question is: what percentage of waste removal businesses in the UK are dedicated to hazardous waste recycling? What percentage of waste removal businesses in the UK are dedicated to hazardous waste recycling? Well, this is a very niche question, isn't it?
What are you going with? I've got 10%. I have no idea, actually.
I'm going 13. You going with 10? He's gone 10. I've gone 13. The answer is bollocks. 10%. I didn't say it out loud. It won't get picked up. Don't worry. 10%. This is only.
Where's my trophy? Where's my trophy? It's very important I have the trophy.
I got to get it off your own shelving cabinet.
No.
Ta-da!
That's my trophy.
It's quite nicely lit, though, isn't it? I like this background. 10%. This is only a market value of 2 billion and approximately 250 to 300 companies focused on specialist hazardous waste in the UK.
I think that's like asbestos removal.
This includes.
All right,
I'll
yeah.
stop you there. This includes asbestos.
Have you ever had asbestos removed?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, ask me if I've had asbestos.
Have you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, I have. And let me tell you, it was a very high-paid annual salary to have a asbestos
Isn't
roof
it just?
sorted out. So see the story just
Was it
very
your
quickly.
Your house?
No. One of my warehouses. Basically, there was a
I've
big.
got the tiles. The asbestos tiles.
No, let me tell you the whole story. I'm going to do it in 60 seconds. See if I can do it. So, tenant rings up Tracy. No, not this is before Tracy. Rings me up, says, there's a big water leak in my building. Water going everywhere. Help. Okay. And it was the time when I only had a few properties. So I went down there trying to turn off the leak. Took one of my maintenance people from Marsh Farm. Help me find the leak. It must be in this room here. This room shouldn't be here. This is a really big room. And now it's a really small room as we open the door. Punch through the plasterboard wall. We're in the Amazon rainforest. They're growing drugs in my building. I mean, it was honestly, orangutans could have moved in.
Really?
Awful. We eventually find out where the water pipe is and we close it off. And then the maintenance man says, Jim, you need to come up here because he was in another part of the building. I said, no, you need to come down here and see what I've discovered. He went, no, you need to come up here and see what I've discovered. And what? So I go up to him and there are anacondas, live snakes, turtles, tortoises, and they were trading awful. Absolutely awful.
What, like illegal exotic animal trading?
Illegal exotic animals and selling. And
This story's taking a turn.
They put magnets on all the units to, stop the electric because they were making a serious amount of money. Anyway, so I called the police. I thought I'm going to lose my Ofsted registrations. They're going to think I'm involved in this. The police didn't turn up for 4 hours. And then when they did, it was like a scene from Die Hard. There was like 8 of them with a big van, lights and everything. And they sorted it out. They got the guy, arrested the guy, the tenant. He always paid his rent on time.
Of course he did.
He was the only person.
Short of cash, is he?
He was the only person when we put the rent up, he never questioned it. And most people were, well, yeah, so, why are you doing this to me, Jimbo? James Sinclair, you made enough money, but he never done anything. Yeah, whatever it is.
If you're doing an illegal
he
gross,
was my dream tenant. I hadn't been to that building for commercial property. You just don't go and check. It's just you pay your rent, and it's only.
So was it him who's doing the growing that phoned you with the water leak?
Anyway, so it was a warehouse, and he was so angry that we dobbed him in. He went in and punched all my roofs in the ceiling. All right. So he let all water in, exposed asbestos, but it was all covered by the insurance. So I didn't personally have to pay for it, but it was about 130 grand to get it all removed.
Crazy,
do you know what? He did me a massive favour. Not only did he punch the roof in, and I don't have the cost of replacing that roof one day, I got a nice new roof. Thank you very much. So there you go. Good things do happen to good people. I'm telling you now, if something bad happens to you, lean into the difficulty, gang. Lean into the difficulty. If you're having a tough trading period right now, lean into the difficulty. You come out stronger, you come out better, you repair your business and make it stronger. Someone steals from you, you just had another life experience and you're more aware for the future. Just lean into it. And that's what I did there. I was stressed out when that happened. I was a youngish man then. I was just got with Nats, so I was 28, and I was like, oh dear. Because I've never tried a cigarette. I'm practically teetotal. Never a drug has not entered mine, and to have it on my premises, and then Colchester Zoo came and collected all these rare animals.
Oh,
they
really?
was trading them, making loads of money. It was awful.
Wow,
So there you go, gang. Smooth seas don't make skilled sailors.
As we always say on this podcast. If you have enjoyed this episode, please feel free to leave us a review wherever you download your podcast. Leave us a comment in the comments in the old YouTube. And if you are a business that is looking for waste, maybe reach out to Michael, because he seems like a wonderful guy.
Cheers for your ears.
See you later. Ta-da.
Thanks for watching today, gang. I hope you enjoyed the show. Now, look, we're looking for some great businesses to come on the podcast. If you've got challenges, but you're desperate to grow your business and you can't necessarily work out how to do it on your own, you'll be a perfect candidate to come here on the podcast. It's absolutely free to come on the show. Go to my website, jamessinclair.net, and there's a podcast button. Click on the podcast button, fill in the application form, and we'll do our very best to get you on the show and try and grow your business.